Hey everybody, welcome back to Cromwell Castle. I am Charles Cromwell. Today we'll be diving, obviously, right back into Pokemon. I apologize for this video taking so long, but there is a lot of information to cover here and a lot of research into it. So we're going to be getting into life on PokeEarth in this video, which is kind of exciting and kind of horrifying all at once, because it's probably going to make some diehard Pokemon fans angry, but please just remember, these are my theories. You don't have to share them with me. You can have your own, and if you have your own, I would love to hear them. Maybe you'll change my mind. So to get things started here, let's get into these three. Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. These are the only three life-giving Pokemon that we have any canon information about their creation. They were directly created by Arceus. And as far as we know, they're the last ones that Arceus created himself. So then how do we get Xerneas and Yveltal? Because these are cosmic entities as well. They're the living embodiment of life and death. Well, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf are personality traits, essentially. They are living embodiments of the consciousness within living creatures. But there aren't any living creatures yet. And perhaps with that consciousness, they're able to realize that in order to create life on a planet, you need the concepts of life and death. So my theory is that Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf created Xerneas and Yveltal, created the concepts of life and death themselves. And that's the only real way that this works, in my mind at least, because nothing says that they were created by Arceus, even though they kind of should have been. So we have personality traits now, we have the concept of life and death, and now we can have life on Earth. But what started that? See, in the show and in the manga and all of the resources that we have, it says that Mew is the ancestor of Pokemon. But there's a qualifier there. It says that Mew is the ancestor of all modern Pokemon. And that has led people down this pathway to believe that Mew was the first Pokemon to ever evolve. But we know that evolution on PokeEarth happened in a similar manner to how it happened here, in the real world. And we know that because Pokemon was, like, the idea behind it was to teach people about real world evolution in a way that would be easier to understand. And yeah, I realize a lot of it is completely wrong. But if evolution on PokeEarth happened in the same manner that it did here, then Mew can't be the first Pokemon. What it can be, however, is the first mammal. And if we look at it, it does look like artist renditions of early mammals, these small, sort of rodent-like things that were just in these very niche areas of the world during the time of dinosaurs and so on and so forth, that eventually ended up diversifying after the extinction of these large reptilian creatures into what we have today. Which makes sense. The ancestor of modern Pokemon. A lot of modern Pokemon are mammalian, so to speak. So then the real first Pokemon would be the fossils. Especially the ones that showed up in the water at the time. Because that's how evolution took place here as well. In the real world, we had all of these things showing up in the water, diversifying in the oceans of antiquity, and eventually climbing onto land, which makes sense, especially with how they did it. These two were two of the first fossil Pokemon within the games or within any of the series, and they are aquatic. And eventually, Mew evolved in the literal sense of evolution out of these ancient Pokemon. When that happened, we don't really know, but we do have a ton of fossil Pokemon. And it's also decent to note that all of the fossil Pokemon share a typing, the rock type. And whether that comes from them being fossils, i.e. rocks, and then being rejuvenated back into living organisms, changed their typing, or added a rock typing, still has to be seen. But personally, I think they were all monotype. Early in the Pokemon series, a lot of Pokemon were monotype. And I'm pretty sure that's a holdover from antiquity. All of the Pokemon started out as monotype, and as time went on, they evolved in order to stay in different areas of the world and gained secondary typings. So I think these, personally, were monotype Pokemon, and the rejuvenation process, having been rock, made them rock types. But I digress. That doesn't really have anything to do with what we're talking about here. We're talking about life and death and the evolution of life on PokeEarth. So we have all of these fossils. We have millions and millions and millions of years of natural evolution, not just evolution like a Pokemon stage set. And finally we get Mew. Mew, who can learn all moves and fit into every type category. And personally, I think that means that the types of Pokemon way back when were probably pretty limited until Mew. And then once Mew goes through millions of years of natural evolution, it ends up diversifying into what we have today in the Pokemon world. All of these hundreds and hundreds of species of Pokemon, making Mew the ancestor of Pokemon. Now, the legendaries and the mythicals that don't fit into creation mythology, the ones that we don't have any real idea of their origin, it makes me wonder if they descended from Mew as well, or if they descended from some other early mammalian species, so to speak. Or if maybe they are direct descendants from whatever fossil Pokemon survived whatever cataclysm occurred. Which is possible. That happened here. Birds, for example, are most likely later versions